So I really struggle with academia. For those of you who don't know, I am a business professor. And if you don't know what academia is, it's really talking about the whole research culture and how universities actually work. And how it works is that you have to publish research publications and then you get assessed on those research publications by everybody else. The problem is that there is implicit things that go on behind the scenes that it makes it really hard to sort of discover where people are and what they're doing. So it's not necessarily that you put in, if you're just a nice person and put in the work, that generally doesn't equate to the outcomes that you're thinking about. Academia does not work like that. It's one of the few careers where it doesn't work like that because there is a lot of implicit norms, a lot of culture. There is all sorts of things that go on behind the scenes that is very difficult to figure out. And frankly, I have not figured it out. I don't know what the answers are. I've been doing this for a long time, and you can see that I really, truly struggle with it every day. And some of the harder things to compare or to deal with is social comparison. And sort of the competitive positioning that happens, which is like the real part that is difficult. So, what do I mean by that? So imagine Facebook where, everybody sees each other, but your life depends on it, and your career depends on it, and your academic identity depends on it, and everybody sees where you are and what you're doing. And it doesn't equate, it doesn't equate where if you just put in work time and time again, you're a nice person, it often doesn't equate to, actually getting outcomes. There's lots of different things that go on behind the scenes. You can, game the journals that you publish in, right? There's so much gaming that happens, right? So you can publish a lot more by, not striving for journals. There is, working with different colleagues that have that are more reputable often makes it a lot easier to, get published. That all of these things happen. There's this whole effect. There's well known, it's well studied, and the sociology of science. By the way, there's a lot. It's very interesting, the sociology of science. There's a lot that goes on within the culture of it. But there's this thing called the Matthew effect, where it's dynamics where the rich get rich and the poor get poorer. It's based on a quote in the Bible where it talks about this. It's about the parable of talents. Is the section of the Bible where it talks about that. And these dynamics play out a lot. And this was, talking about that the whole story is that as you do more things and get more well-known, the more resources are given to you. And this has been studied in many different ways. It's almost always undisputable where this actually happens. And the rewards are disproportionate based on particular outcomes than the actual effort that you put in. And this has been demonstrated a lot. So academia is a really sort of tough career to deal with those kind of things. And I want to, propose that I want to just help you out, because I know that I'm not the only one that struggles with this, and that there's a lot of difficulty with figuring these things out. So if you have questions or anything, make sure that you do add those questions, or ask them. Put it in all the videos. It helps me out, because then I know that you're curious about and how to sort of deal with things, because I know it's a real struggle. I'm not the only one that struggles with not only academia, but all sorts of different components of the sort of educational journey. But we do know, the one thing that we do know is that the more education that you get often equates, particularly if it's valued, right? If it's valuable. The more education that you get does equate to, quote unquote, moving up in this world. So it's not necessarily, it's challenging, because there's so much to deal with all of this kind of stuff, and people don't really tell you this. But at the same time, we know that there is this sort of relationship that happens. Even within academia, there is a relationship. The more publications you get, the more sort of prestige you get. That's kind of part of the Matthew effect. But how do you get those publications? Frankly, I don't know. But I know a little better than other people that are just starting. And, I'm here to help. That's really it. And I can't tell you all of the answers. I screw up all the time. I'm a bumbling idiot with a lot of this stuff, but at least I'm willing to chat about it and be open about it. Most people are not willing to be open about it. They'll tell you behind closed doors all of these kind of things. It's all really well known, but nobody is explicitly talking about it and making it part of, hey, let's try to open up the kimono and figure out how to do this and destigmatize a lot of this stuff. So I know that it's a struggle because I struggle with it. And given the fact that there's many other people, and I'm not that weird, I think many other people are struggling with it too. So I just want to be open and honest, and let me know if you have questions on how to deal with things, anything practical stuff. How do you do this? How do you do that? And I'd be willing to answer at least some of them. So please do ask those questions. It helps. It helps a lot of people. If you didn't know, the way all of this works, the whole internet works, is one person's willing to do the work for many. Nobody else is willing to do this kind of stuff, and you have to stand up and do it. All right, take care and have a wonderful day. And remember, we're a part of a community, right? The community that cares for others. All right, take care and have a wonderful day. Bye.